And we are back. This is HRap, he Wilks. We are the A team from the Fourcast. Thank y'all for
Pretty much.
tapping. Tonight we have done an about face. Initially, it was going to be a movie called The Truth that we'll probably do sometime in the near future. Today, it'll be continuation. It will be a continuation of the celebration of comedy, the celebration of film and movies. Richard Pryor. It is a series that the Forecast is doing to we review movies. So now we're going to celebrate the people who do those movies. We're not just going to celebrate the movies. We're going to celebrate the people who brought us hours
Right.
and hours and hours of entertainment.
Right.
Today it will be a continuation of Richard Pryor. Next week it'll be the rest of the guys, and we'll do. I think it is Truths next week. Truthers next week. And with that being said, I'm Rap. He Wilks. What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Doing all right, man. Just trying to stay cool. But
Oh yeah, I heard it's a scorcher down that man.
hey, man, it's that time of the year here, man.
Yeah, buddy.
All days of summer is upon us, man.
For all the people who are in Texas or in the Southwest that's going through that smothering heat, God bless you. Check on your elders, stay
Right.
hydrated, and do all that fancy stuff that people say with more decorum than I do, with
Right.
more decorum than I have. Do those things and stay healthy yourself. With that being said, this is part two of a continuation of the celebration of Richard Pryor. Last week we talked about his film, his stand-up, his impact on the world, and this week it is phase two of it, and this will be the second and final one. We're talking about the documentary that's on YouTube called "I Am Richard Pryor." This is um uh, this is a hot and cold documentary. This is somewhat vindictive. It's a ton of information, and this is something that we've discussed on the Forecast for quite some time. How even when you watch a documentary, it is valuable information, but also realize this is a person making it, and that person has the tendency to see the world through their eyes, not just tell a story. They're telling a story as they see it.
Right.
Uh, First and foremost, what are your first thoughts on Richard? Continue your thoughts on Richard Pryor, but also, what are your thoughts on this? Is the documentary right here? I Am Richard Pryor. This is what we're talking about this evening. But tell me your thoughts on the documentary. As we say, initial thoughts. What are your initial thoughts on the documentary, and what did you learn from it?
I actually was surprised to even find something that was free on YouTube. I don't even know how it popped up in my feed, but it caught my attention immediately.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it, but then there were times where it's just like, okay, like I know y'all got to do what you got to do to drive home a point. I like seeing the old footage. I like seeing the comedies and the things that I've watched. I like seeing the interviews he gave because I didn't realize he had sat down with was that Diane Sawyer? No, was it Diane Sawyer?
It was Diane Sawyer and Barbara Walters.
And Barbara Walters. Yeah, I didn't. I kind of remember those as kids, but I wasn't watching that when I was growing up. I remember it was prime time, big deal. But so I learned that. I didn't really realize that. I didn't know. Even after listening to the albums my grandfather had, I didn't realize how he grew up and how he was raised. So that was new and different for me. And I didn't realize when Mike Epps had made a comment in here saying like, yeah, I mean, he was telling these jokes, but he was telling it from an angry place.
Mm-hmm.
So happy they were laughing at it. So he just got like, oh, they're gonna laugh at my miserable state, But I mean, he cut character every now and then, and kind of had to laugh at his own. He's like, man, this was pretty bad. But yeah, I learned some stuff. Of course, then we can get into his ex-wife later. But no, I enjoyed it. I thought it was done pretty good. I mean, there were times I think as it went on, I was just like, okay, guys, you drag now you try to drag him through the mud or whatever it is. Like, come on, guys, like chill out. You start out on his heightened level. Now you got to go into his demons and mistakes, all this, and then just keep pounding on those things. So, but I thought it was done pretty well. I had never seen anything on Richard Pryor as far as documentary wise. So this was the fact that this even came out in 2019, I didn't even know this was even out. So I enjoyed it.
And that's the thing, man. I totally agree with everything you said, because it's always good to see these comedy legends. But one thing, the only thing, as you stated, the only thing I didn't like and the only thing I didn't enjoy was the piling on.
Yeah.
When you have an individual that is as troubled as Richard Pryor, you're talking about a man who grew up in a brothel, went to the military. As we did our research individually on the phone Saturday, we found out that he had a child at 17. He's born in 1947. He had a child at 16 the year he was turning 17. And so, this is a man with a child that was born in 1957.
Right.
You're not even thinking about that. When you think of Richard Pryor, you almost put him in your age category because he's been around so long and he's been such a fixture in our community. But the only thing, like I said in the opening salvo, only thing I didn't like is the fact that this person is in a situation to whereas they had an axe to grind. They put themselves in a position that they were bigger than the situation, and trying to be bigger than the situation is insane. If you have an axe to grind, just keep it to yourself. Get you a therapist. It seems as if she was in control of his his estate at this point. If you have an axe to grind that axe with a therapist, tell a story, and move forward.
Right. Can we go over that?
With the details, we didn't really need that. What were you saying?
No, I said, can we move on from that? It's like you said, there were some things. It was almost like you were trying to lift him up, and then you were like, well, he had demons, and then you want to diminish him, then you want to lift him up, then you want to. I was like, you were always. It was almost like they were trying to make it seem like, well, the minute he was being successful, well, he had some dark. There was some shortcomings. So let's expound on these shortcomings. But yet you're praising him for being so influential and how he was doing his own thing and what he brought. It's like I don't even really feel like it was a balance. I felt like you did this, shine a light on it, but let's talk about this. He's on crack. He's freebasing. He set himself on fire. He grew up in a brothel. He's getting high. What are we doing? Like, which one is it? It was just like, okay, guys.
Exactly. And then we live in a world where two things can be true. You can have you can grow up in a toxic environment. You could be an extremely toxic individual, but the way they harped on his shortcomings was a bit much. I've never seen a documentary in which people, you have to go into the closet and push out some of the dirt. We understand that. But to harp on it consistently, no matter how much light they shined on him, she went right back to his dark days, his shortcomings, and his pitfalls. In my opinion, I've never seen it. Maybe you have, and maybe the listeners have. And if you have, please hit that like, hit that share, and leave a comment, and please engage with us, because if you've seen this documentary or if you even love Richard Pryor, talk to us about it. But I thought it was classless.
It was that's why I said 1 minute you're talking about how, he started out like this, kind of like the vaudeville circuit kind of thing, and he had the clean shaven act. There's some art, which reminds me of some artists that started out clean shaven and they were doing the rock and roll doo-wop circuit, whatever. Then all of a sudden they went a little psychedelic or whatever the case was, a little bit more soulful. Started growing their hair out. But I think that was just what the time was. It was that time, the cleanly shaven or neatly kept beards. I mean, even the actors, even Hollywood, you're not going to see Clark Gable with a beard. You're not going to, unless it's, glued on or something. But that was just the time, it was that time to be neat and cleanly shaven, closely shaven. Wearing a tuxedo, coming out, being cordial, meeting the crowd and stuff like that. But as the show went on, as the documentary went on, he was like, "Hey, I need to reach my people. I want to tell these. I'm tired of being buttoned down, brass tacks. I got some stuff I need to get out. I got some anger. I'm upset about some stuff, man, and I need to let people know." So I get it.
And then again, that's the beauty in comedy. A lot of comedians have dark pasts. A lot of people are dealing with their lives, and he introduced that style of comedy to the world. To whereas not only will I make you laugh, I will provoke thought. As Tiffany Haddish said, I'll put something on your mind, and then I'll show you how ugly this world can be. And he's also a beacon of light on how you can overcome all these shortcomings. And for her to consistently, we may as well get into it. His ex-wife, well, actually his widow, who was formerly his ex-wife, she promoted this, and it shows how if you put something in the universe about somebody that is deemed to be uplifting, inspiring, and push forward, you're clearly trying to push the light forward, you'll get a better result. There's no way on God's green earth you could have told somebody in 2018 that on Prime Video there will be a documentary about the most influential comedian in the history of the United States. I can't speak about the world, but the history of the United States. Most people don't even know it exists.
Right. That's what I said.
Go ahead.
I mean, it popped up in my YouTube, and I couldn't believe it was free. I thought for sure it was going to have me pay for it, but the fact that it popped up and it was a good 90 minutes. I mean, it was a lot of information in that 90 minutes, stuff that I didn't know, and stuff was kind of like, okay, guys, we need a filler. But I was interested to watch it. Like I said, and I had watched it a few months back. I think maybe I probably watched it like the end of May going into June. So I had already started it. It had caught my attention.
The thing, I didn't even know it existed. I am a gigantic Richard Pryor fan. I'm a gigantic comedian fan, a fan of comedy, and I didn't know it was there. So this lets you know that this came from a dark place. And if you believe, if you have a deity that you answer to, you understand that this stayed in the darkness because of that dark place that it came from.
2019. I mean, you would have heard. I mean, you would if you've got Mike Epps and Tiffany Haddish and Bill Barr and Howie Mandel, like, come on. And then it just died silent like that. Like, it just kind of fell to the waist. Like, come on. Stop. Yeah, like you said, this was cooked up on purpose. And just like, hey, we'll drop it where they find it and see what they think about it. But it's just like you came from a place where, you know, you were already ready to try to tear him down. It's like you build him up, you tear him down, you talk about his accolades. Oh, but wait a minute. He didn't get along with the producers. He didn't get along with the people that had. I say that's fine. That's with everything. If you're a creative genius like Richard Pryor, you get out of the way. Like, of course he's gonna have, and most of his stuff is improv, and he's gonna do. If you have a comedic act like Richard Pryor, somebody that knows, like, hey man, this is what I do. This is my lane. Of course you're gonna bump heads with people that think, well, we might want to tone it down a little bit. No, you didn't tone nothing down. Like, this is my life. This is what I've experienced. These are the characters within me that help me escape. I'm not toning anything down. I'm not doing that.
And one thing I appreciate is something, and no pun intended, Richard Pryor had the Fourcast to create his own story, and loosely a movie loosely based on his own life story called JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. And had it not been for that, this may have taken on a whole new life and potentially put a tremendous dent in this man's life. Did you get a chance to check that out? Because we talked about that Saturday. Did you get a chance?
Didn't start it. I'm going to start it tonight. I was about to watch it, but they wanted to go to the pool, so we had to go to the
hey, man. At 100 degrees, go to the pool.
Yeah, man.
JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling, is loosely based on Richard Pryor's life story. And he walked us through being a young person in a brothel, his parents were not as abusive as this woman tried to present.
Yes.
And I mean, he didn't grow up in the greatest environment. He went to the military. He ended up doing vaudeville. He walked us through all the pitfalls of his life. This is a dude who lived his just about entire adult life in the spotlight in front of us. So to continue to throw dirt on his name, we know Richard Pryor set himself on fire, attempting to kill himself while being intoxicated by what will later be dubbed as crack cocaine. It was called freebase at the time. We know all these things. So for you to consistently shine, and then you shine a poor light on his grandmother. One thing that I would like to do is recommend to people, if you want to see how much reverence, if you see this documentary, which was great, don't get me wrong, it's just certain things we think just went over the top. Some things you just don't do with a person who's no longer with us. If you really want to see the reverence, because she made it seem like his grandmother was this wicked witch of the world, evil, that he was in fear of. If you want to see Richard Pryor's relationship with his grandmother, look, all you have to do is go to YouTube, Google YouTube, Johnny Carson, Richard Pryor grandmother. The way that man looked at that with the type of reverence he looked at his grandmother, all the stuff that this woman, this wicked picture of this woman, it is exactly what the people today, what we call clickbait, and people like Owen and Whitlock and now Tatum and the rest of these clowns. This is exactly the picture they try to paint of the community, and this is what lets us know that at some point you are every celebrity who's watching, who watched this, and who will watch something of this nature. Make sure you tell your own story, man. Eddie Murphy did. Shout out to Eddie Murphy. He took a page out of Richard Pryor's and told his own story on Netflix, which is also awesome. We have an episode on that as well. So go through the archives of BS3 and the Fourcast, and you'll see that. But yeah, man, I really appreciated the fact that he did it on his own. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I thought it was done pretty well. I like that he approaches. How you doing? She's probably still mad about that remote control. But I just think he had to do it on his own. He had to approach things like that because, like he said, he was wanting to be this creative machine. He was wanting to be this person like, hey, I've got something I want to. That's why I said when he even wearing a tuxedo, doing the vaudeville thing, and then the civil rights thing came along, and it was kind of like, he's watching that and he knows what's going on, and he's trying to reach, a different audience. It's like, hey, I already know what's happening, what y'all trying to do. So let them know, hey, I got anguish, and I see what you're dealing with. I see what you're going through. Let me also let you know, hey, through comedy, the tragic thing has happened. The tragic thing will happen. But if I can take your mind away from that, and that's what comedy was always about. We get so butthurt these days about comedians and tiptoeing. Now they tiptoeing around subjects, and they tiptoeing around, how to be creative and how to. You can't go back to early 2000s and play half of the comedy that came out today. That comedy 26 years ago, 20 years ago, that's just 26 years ago. Early 2000s. The 90s was still spilling over into the early that's why they asked what's his name one time. I can't think of his name right now, but the guy from The Office. They were like, "Oh, you think we could get another? You think we can get a continuation or something like The Office?" And this is when the Me Too movement was starting. He was like, Steve Carell. He was like, "Yeah, I don't think this is the forecast or the weather. This isn't the time or place if we talk about getting another The Office, because The Office, The Office is gonna blow past HR. It's gonna blow past harassment. It's gonna blow past anything, unsafe environments, taking undocumented breaks, doing whatever you're supposed to be at work. How are you outside doing barbecues in the parking lot when you're supposed to, stuff like that? So, I mean, the comedy that Richard Pryor was bringing, it was like, hey, this is some dark times. They taking out our leaders. It's like, they taking out our leaders. They taking out our figureheads. So it's like they know if there's unity through music, poetry, novelism. I mean, it's like writings, poems. It's just one of those things where it's like comedy is the next avenue. And he wanted to be the polar opposite. I said it last week. It was like he wasn't doing what Bill Cosby was doing. I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, granted, there's things about Bill Cosby wasn't always straight-laced either, but whatever. That's another conversation. But
that's his personal life.
Right. That was just his personal life. So, no, and his comedy has always been, like I said, he's not cursing. He's not being, what's the word I'm looking for?
Blue.
Whatever. But, yeah, he's not being prudent, So Cosby was doing that. Richard Pryor is doing this. And two of those things can exist. They can exist. So I like his approach. I like what he was doing. And then he started getting in the movies. So I got it. I enjoyed how he had to do it on his own.
Exactly, man. And then what has happened is they've curated the world, and the world is exactly the way they've curated it. It is not what it is. One thing about the arts, I'm talking about, you can go back to Shakespeare. You can go back to the 1800s. You can go back to early 1900s. You can go to the late 1900s. One thing about art, it is always told what was going on. When you when you watch Spartacus, when you read Shakespeare, when you read Macbeth, when you read what is Shakespeare as well, when you see these stories and see these situations, when you watch movie and cinema and poetry, Edgar Allan Poe and all these thought-provoking entertainers and people of the arts, it is a reflection on the time. This is the first time in the history of the world whereas you are not inundated with music that is a reflection of what's going on.
Oh, absolutely.
50 years ago, artists would be up in arms. We saw a tyrannical president 50 years ago. 50 years ago. Richard Milhouse Nixon was 50 years ago, and we've done a documentary on this. Please check the archives on BS3. Hit like, hit share, tell a friend to tap in, share. But we did a documentary on 1972 on Apple TV, and it shows how people got tired. The artists stood up, the comedians stood up, Marvin Gaye, you had from all genres, people stood up and said, enough is enough. And and they've curated a world in which
what kills me. And that's what kills me when people get up in arms. That's like when we have like the Oscars or we have these awards show like the Golden Globes or we have the Grammys or the Tonys. I was like, why are y'all getting so butthurt when they're using that? When they don't use their platform or their stage, you go, oh, you didn't say that. You didn't take a chance. You didn't go. You didn't fight for me. Okay, but when they were doing it back then in interviews with Howard Cosell and whoever was doing Dan Rather and whoever else, when they were having interviews, oh yeah, fight the power, man, down with the system, man. Yeah, I mean, what are you talking about? You love that, but then when they do it today, it's like, oh no, we ain't watching it for that. But wait a minute, that's what they had to do back then. History repeats itself. If you don't speak up, then it's never going to get addressed.
Exactly. And for those who think these platforms have not been used, what we have to do is just, again, go to the music, go to the plays. Again, if you just those are mediums that can be that will control at certain times. You can't control the artist and whatever song takes off. Well, 1975, Marlon Brando. No, it was 1974. Marlon Brando won Best Actor for The Godfather, and guess what happened? He didn't go up there and accept his award. He sent a Native American woman up there to show the world these people are being forgotten. These people are being disrespected. So this is a medium that has been on a continuum. And the fact that the United States,
and then you're gonna have John Wayne turn around and try to knock with something like,
oh my God, John Wayne is the biggest hypocrite in the world because you present yourself as a representation of what America is. And when someone says, well, these people being left out of the picture, you get upset. But again, this is what we're talking about. This is
you're making video, and then you're making movies with them. You're making videos with not even real Native Americans. You're making movies with white people that look like Native Americans,
or white people who you want to be perceived as how Native Americans look.
What was the one with I can't think of his name. Mickey Rooney. Wasn't Mickey Rooney playing an Asian guy in one of these old movies?
Yeah. Mickey Rooney was playing an Asian guy. Exactly.
Stop, man.
I mean, even as recently as the 1982 Scarface, you got my man Al Pacino playing a Cuban.
What are we doing?
So yeah, also you can find any Cuban actors in the whole world. Ricky Ricardo was just that one guy that got off
Right.
the island that could act. No, it's
Yeah,
not.
stop.
It's not the
Yeah,
case.
cut it out. Yeah.
So,
And now, like you said, and then well, I've said this many times. It took George Floyd all of a sudden. Well, we better include. Well, if we gonna make Coco with Disney, we got to get an all Spanish class. We got all Hispanic, heritage, Mexican roster. We got to get everybody in there. It's like now all of a sudden, it took somebody dying in the street for you to. Oh well, we got to have a hint of right. That's what I'm saying. I was like, now all of a sudden you want to include real Hispanic people in a cartoon role. You want to make an Aladdin that's actually including Indian, Asian continent people? Stop it. What are we doing?
And for those people who got mad at Halle Berry for being the mermaid, do a little research. The first people that allegedly saw mermaids were people in the Caribbean and people in South Africa. Last time I checked, those people they look more like me than the people who were up and off.
Exactly.
So,
like, stop, guys.
Stop. Knock it off, man. It is a potentially fictional character. I'm gonna say potentially because we know more about what's in outer space than we do in the ocean. So we don't know what's in the ocean.
Right.
But as far as we know, it's a fictional character. So why are you up in arms? Are you up in arms about Santa Claus? Santa Claus is winning. Really?
Really? That's what you're doing? That's what you're coming with?
So yeah, man, this was an excellent documentary. Back on point. This is an excellent documentary, and it gives you insight on who Richard Pryor was, the life he led.
I thought it was done really nice.
Yes. Yeah. It was excellent, man. Gives you insight on who he was, where he's from, and what he went through. And this will help you appreciate, if you are a forward-thinking individual, help you appreciate his comedy even more, because I opened my chest, let you see my heartbeat, and now you understand some of my jokes. And the fact that, look, think about this, man. One of Richard Pryor's most famous jokes is when he got arrested for shooting up his own car.
Right.
Took up the stage, and then he said, I had to relax, because the whole line is, I had to relax when the police came, put the gun down, because they don't shoot cars, they shoot niggas. And then he said, when I went in there and I was, I'm going to get some justice. And then I looked around the courtroom and I did get justice. I saw just us. The fact through that life, still have the perspective and the ability to articulate it and with just humor and bringing joy to an unjust situation. Talk to me about how that makes you feel when you know the background of the individual and you see he can overcome addiction, abuse, drug abuse, drug addiction, physical and emotional abuse, and still stand in front of the world and entertain us to no end.
That's what makes them upset. That's what makes the fire. If they say the fiery darts that they want to aim at you, they want to find everything they can to keep trying to tear you down. But it's like you gotta understand, and we've heard it before. It's like those were my tribulations. Yes, those are my trials and tribulations. But God has put a talent in me, whether I reference him or not. That talent is not from me directly. He's given me these abilities and these skills to make people laugh. I might be hurting on the outside. It's almost like do as I say, not say as I do. It's kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, I might feel like it's too late for me, but if I can reach somebody with this comedy, if I can reach a nation with this comedy, and could I inspire another generation of men and women that want to get into character role play, or they have something they've been jotting down and writing. There's one thing I'll never forget about Oprah. She said one time, and I can't remember what it was, but she was a little girl, but excuse me, she had said something. She was like, and I don't know who she was talking to, because she was like, when I saw somebody on TV that looked like me in a position that you were in, I cannot remember who she was talking about. Oprah said that inspired her, because it was like we didn't have, when we saw we've said it years before, when we saw somebody on Johnny Carson that looked like us, like Flip Wilson, or we saw Sammy Davis, on Johnny Carson. We saw let's say, for example, if the Jacksons, they were on the American Bandstand, and you saw that, or they doing a variety show with Cher and the Jacksons. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, that's a big deal. You crowding around the TV.
Mm-hmm.
You cheering them on at that point, you know? So it's one of those things where it's like, you want to try to keep knocking me down. You want me to become my shortcomings, but I've already done that. I was my shortcomings, but I decided to pick myself up and move on from that. I decided to set myself in different certain circles because I can show you that, hey, it's still out there. It's still afforded to you.
Mm-hmm.
You can still overcome that. And even if you have demons to the day you die,
you will.
And thank you. On top of that, as long as I can leave some type of positive light in a place where darkness may be choking me out, hey, this is the light that I'm going to give you right now to run with. So I thought the documentary was done very well. That's why I said when I watched this, it was just kind of showing things that I didn't know about Richard, but growing up and remembering my grandfather having Richard albums and just watching Richard movies, and he was that lightning rod. He was that figure of, and to see him in Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy and Red Fox and Della Reese, that was huge. That was big. Now, he had other movies after that. I didn't really know them, but to see that movie, the fact that Eddie Murphy and him were in a movie together, and Della Reese and Red Fox, I mean, that's a big deal, man. Arsenio Hall, I mean, that's huge.
And as you mentioned, man, you mentioned God, and thank you for invoking God. It's part of the tenets of faith, the Christianity faith, saying that you don't go through things for yourself. You go through things so you can uplift other people. Your pain is not for you because you can endure the pain. More times than not, you can endure the pain. I've been through some things in my life. I've been through a couple car accidents. So you know what that tells me? Hey, man, when you get in the car, my man, put that seatbelt on.
Yeah.
So because I have been told, hey, guess what? You're a lucky guy. Thank God you had your seatbelt on. You would be talking to me from a wheelchair had you not. So I didn't like the pain, but guess what? I can tell people about that. And that's what Brother Pryor did, man. That's what he did. He's speaking from the grave. And guess what? Even with this wicked woman, that I'm gonna call her a wicked, putting this out and consistently going back to the darkest portions of his life. Hey, guess what? Choose your mate well. Get over things. Here's an emotional lesson that's in this Zen book that I read. Don't be angry. Like I read a minute ago, it said, don't be angry. Take the anger and identify it. So Wilks didn't disrespect me. What Wilks did was disrespectful. That now you've titled this as disrespectful. So as you title it, it goes on down the river. If you feel disrespected, it sits on top of you. You have to deal with it.
Lingering.
So it's lingering. So when you say, what Wilks did was disrespectful to HRap. Now I'm looking at that. Now I'm not immersed in it. So I just take a step back, look at it. Yeah, that was disrespectful. I'm not disrespected. So if I put it on me, I'm disrespected and I'm dealing with it. If I say that's disrespectful and then swipe it, just like we would do many of these apps on our laptops, on our phones or what have you, guess what? It's a dead issue. I don't have to deal with that anymore. And that's what Richard was able to successfully do. He brought demons into his life, but he was able to do it.
Because even when they introduced her, and immediately she wants to go to the threesomes, and she wants to, you can't do that when you're in love, Richard. But you agreed to.
Hey, and I'm glad. Stay right there. Don't please pause. That's how you know this person did this from a place of vengeance and pain, because she immediately started talking about how he couldn't take on the threesomes. They were too much. And then she put one of his friends in and didn't edit this out. He was like, man, Richard didn't love any women. He just saw them as a convenience. So he didn't love you. And he was probably just tripping off all the drugs he was dealing with. But you didn't even see that because you had so much vengeance in your heart. So you end up, if you're watching this intelligently, you go, you still hurting. He gone.
Right.
He can't hurt no more.
Because even there was one point where she even kept saying, "Oh yeah, the women, the threesome." You could see it. And it's like you wanted, so you really didn't want to. You thought that was a way to connect with Richard, but you thought it backfired on you. Really, you took that and ran with it and tried to make it seem like, "Oh, I told you couldn't do that when you're in love, Richard." Really? This what you coming with, lady?
Yeah, man. It was disappointing.
But then you talk about how we would sit at the table and we would talk and he would share his stories and things with me. And now all of a sudden you're trying to use it against him because you thought you was gonna be the only one. Like, come on, lady. Like, what are we doing, man? Like,
you'd be the only one today,
right? But it was like, come on, it was crazy.
Yeah, man.
She was just vengeful.
And if you're gonna tell the story, tell the story. See, it's easy to talk about, man. HRap, man. I used to kill it in football and in college and in high school. And I was the man, and I scored touchdowns and I hit home runs when I played baseball. And I dunked on Eric Brown and Eric Brown probably why I threw that at him. But I dunked on this guy, and it's easy to say that. But what about the times you airballed that layup at the University of Illinois on the fast break? Because I did that. I don't want to talk about that. I can tell you when I dunked on Eric Brown, but I can tell you about fast break, airball the layup. Everybody laughed at me. It was fun. And but if you're gonna tell the story, tell the whole.
Tell the whole exactly. Don't tell half of it. Don't tell all of it. Don't leave nothing out.
What about that time? Bottom of the ninth, 2 strikes. I mean, full bases loaded. You struck out, bro.
Right.
Nobody tells this. So we're not saying that we don't want to hear about the pitfalls of Richard Pryor, but when
there's no need to linger or expound on them.
Right, and then you keep going because this is a tragic life that this brother led.
Yeah,
a tormented individual.
And I think you take he had accolades that were leaps and bounds beyond or after what he had overcome or what he was exposed to. And maybe he didn't overcome it. I know I can't remember what happened. What did he have a stroke real bad? Is that why he was wheelchair?
No, that was MS. MS, right. Taking him over. MS ate him up.
Yeah, MS was eating him up. Yeah, that's what it does. You lose your speech, you lose your ability to muscle control. So, I mean, until that time, until his last call, I mean, you cannot take away the paths that were paved. And the thing, I mean, even what was it when they talked about what's his name that came in? They were writing together, they were doing jokes together. I can't think of his name right now.
Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney, yeah. When Paul Mooney came in, I mean, he was writing for him, but he's like, "Hey, I got these jokes for you." But he knew Paul Mooney also was going to be that guy too, man. It's like, hey, this is what I've been here. I've done this. Let me get you on to something like this. Hey, well, I'm glad you put me on. Let me write something for you. You can use this. I mean, it's one of those things where you kind of like feeding off each other, man. It's like you said, it's like just because I've had shortcomings and I've had mistakes, I mean, I'm sure I can't even imagine the stories between him and Paul Mooney, the conversations. I can't even imagine the conversations that were unrecorded, not recorded, never jotted, never repeated, just talking about the show business. I can't even imagine half the jokes that may have been lost, forgotten, that stalled, that didn't go anywhere. Oh gosh, yeah, I can't.
Yeah, man. When you're looking at these things, man, if you're gonna do a documentary, we gonna talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
So, but what you totally missed the ball when you could have talked about how many careers this man helped launch.
She never talked.
4 week, had 5 episodes, 4-week Richard Pryor show, which he helped launch the careers of Tim Reed, WKRP in Cincinnati, Robin Williams TV show, Mandy, Sandra Bernhardt, who even as far reaching as the 90s took over, had a moment in the world. As far reaching as 5 years ago, John Witherspoon started off as a Jet Ebony model, and he went from Jet Ebony model in Detroit, Michigan, to one of the most iconic father figures in the history of cinema and
yes. I mean, and sometimes played the same character.
The same dude reinvented, and we all love him. Everybody loves Spoon. Hey, to the point where I saw Corey Holcomb talking about Spoon's funeral, you said it was a comedy show.
Oh, I bet.
John Wayne's cut up so bad that people stopped being sad. And we got this because of Richard Pryor.
Right, exactly. And that's the way it should be. Like people said, man, I know there's a big comedy show going on in heaven right now, man. Because it's just what it is. It's just, you've left so many lingering moments and just thoughts. And like you said, you had the chance. I don't remember her mentioning one time, how Richard would just always make me laugh and I'd bust in the stitches. It was none of that. It was, well, he set himself on fire. Well, he couldn't. I guess it must have got so good to him. He went crazy.
Right,
lady. What are you saying? What are you saying?
Like your sex just drove him crazy, lady. And then look, just to show you, man, when you're wicked and ugly,
right?
No matter how hard you try to cover up the light gonna shine because every next person been wicked. And you talking about how he was overcome with your sexual experience. The next dude said, "Yeah, man." We went to his house like 10 straight days. He had a different woman coming out every day. Lady, you were just another pitfall. You're another bump in the road. Knock it off.
That's why I say you're another bump in the road, lady. Stop it, man.
You just happen to be the hanger on that hung on the longest.
Right.
It's ugly, it's sad, but it's the truth. It is the truth. And but again, let's just get into the celebration of Richard Pryor. Let's get into the situation to whereas we were able to witness and can still witness the work of one of the greatest people in a moment in the history of cinema. You got to do Which Way Is Up, who is the predecessor to the Clumps. You got Grease Lightning showing you the first black stock car driver. You got a dude who saw how tumultuous his life was and created a movie. And then you got a dude who later on, he went on into childlike movies. They're not the greatest movies, but you know what? I remember enjoying the toy.
Right. I mean, even with him and Gene Wilder, like a complete different side of the spectrum. It was like Gene Wilder was, he was helping Gene Wilder along, making him feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. It was just like, hey, we can make this work. And like he said, he was improvising most of the time, making Gene Wilder feel comfortable, man. Got him loosening up and all that. It's just like, come on, man. Anything he touched was going to be blessed and turn to gold. It was just like, hey, watch me do what I do. Then I'm going to step back and let you do what you do. It's just like with the Eddie Murphy thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, I've been here. So if you want to give me these young and upcoming talents, I don't mind taking the roles and laughing at them or seeing what they have to bring. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't mind giving tips, coaching, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, Eddie Murphy, accolades upon accolades. He a juggernaut in the comedy world, man. He's like, I've been there. I've done that. I don't need to be the headliner anymore. I don't need to be co-starring. I don't even need to be top bill. I don't even be top cast. I'm just here for the support, man. I'm here for the ride, man. So I felt like even when with Harlem Nights, I felt like Red Fox and Della Reese and Pryor, I felt like it was their time to shine. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even though I know that sounds weird, but Eddie Murphy came up so quick. It was just like, hey, man,
I'm gonna reach back.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach back. I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna step out of the way and let these people handle it. I can't imagine what that set was like.
He physically did what, even though he's not the most popular guy in the world right now, he physically did what Jay-Z spoke about. I'm gonna do this for what y'all did to the Cold Crush. He knew Della Reese. He knew Richard Pryor. He knew Red Fox didn't get paid what they were supposed to get paid. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna bring the people who helped me be where I am.
Right.
I'm gonna bring them back to the forefront. And for years, Della Reese was on TV constantly.
Yes.
Pryor got about 8-9 more movies after that. And Fox even got a TV show to the point where he was on set and died because they thought he was thinking about having a heart attack. Actually having a heart attack.
Right.
So this is the cyclical situation about success. If you have success, it should breed success. It should put other people in the forefront and shout out to the people who do it like that. Shout out to the James Browns for giving us. You know what? You can even go back even further than James Brown. Shout out to the little Richard who gave us James Brown.
Yes.
Who in turn give us George Clinton and give us Lucy Collins. And those dudes inspire and so on. And James Brown is Sly Stone. And Sly Stone gave us this guy. And we can just continue to pile upon. And Rick James, who inspired Prince. And Prince who inspired her. And it's just a cyclical situation. So if you are a light, do like Richard, do like the people I just named, and make that light not only shine for you, but shine on others.
Right.
And
that's why I like going back, because I don't know what channel these shows came, or well, these tributes. Mm-hmm. There's some tributes I'll find on YouTube. Mm-hmm. A Prince tribute, a tribute to Aretha Franklin, a tribute to Patti LaBelle. I don't know what channels these tributes came on, but I love that YouTube has them. Mm-hmm. And I will go back and I'll watch those tributes because I've never seen those tributes. And like I said, I don't know what channel they were on. I don't even know what the award ceremony setting was. But I love to see that. Mm-hmm. That's a tall order to go give a tribute to Prince. Go give a tribute to Whitney Houston, a tribute to Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, Anita Baker. You know, I'm watching these things and it's just Rick James. Rick James. I mean, it was just like, man, this is when TV, when we would, like you said, that light that you're shining it on others. I don't see it. You might catch a tribute now on BET Awards, but not just like a night with, I remember growing up when TV was like, oh, an evening with the Pointer Sisters, and they're tribute, they're giving back to the Pointer Sisters, and TV's not like that anymore. Everything is streaming. Nobody gathers around the TV. Nobody just sits in one place. You have, like I said, you got to catch these tributes now when you're watching the Grammys or when you're watching BET Awards. I
hate to be all esoteric about the situation, but it's designed to separate people. This is the medium that we live in today, because see, TV used to bring us together.
Yes.
Like they used to say, water cooler conversations. So if it's must-see TV and we all watching at Tuesday at 7 p.m., that means now I got to call Wilks, or I see Wilks at work. We're gonna talk about this. Being a child, I remember being a child coming to school with my man Clayton Sims and Anthony Martin. We had to talk about Monday Night Football every Tuesday.
Yes.
We had to talk about Monday Night Baseball in the summertime. We had to Monday morning. We had to talk about Magic and Bird was on Sunday. So this brings people together. This forces conversation.
Oh, to your point, hey, you felt like an outcast if you missed some of that stuff,
man.
When In Living Color came on, if we wasn't talking about it in school the next day, you see Living Color, you see Jamie Foxx show last night, you see Martin last, man. If you're not a part of them conversations, man. Oh, you see the premiere House Party came on. Did you check it out? You see kids, man. You, like you said, TV. It wasn't somebody. And now sometimes we did have social media because somebody gonna call and y'all watching the movie together over the phone.
Yes,
but you're not distracted by who posting it, what Twitter doing, what X doing. Hold on real quick. You're not posting the Will Smith slap that fast, and then you're just like, you see that? No, man, you didn't see it. Thank you.
Well, this guy is the guy that's real stupid at the concert.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Live, man? You missing the concert, man.
Well, yeah, watch it live.
I've been to a lot of places in this world. I've done a lot of travel, and I have very few pictures. But all my pictures are here. I remember driving through Oklahoma, seeing this big lion head in the side of a mountain. It was a resort. Like, whoa, that looked like the Chaos. I was like, my man looked like Chaos headquarters from Get Smart. Driving through Oklahoma. I've done that. I remember driving through Roswell, New Mexico. That's where the aliens are supposed to be.
You would have missed it. You'd have missed it
if you had to pull out your phone. Like, no, man. Now we having a conversation in the ride about this, man.
Right. Yeah.
So man. This is the beauty in comedy. This is the beauty in entertainment, and this is why we're celebrating brother Richard Pryor.
Yeah,
They created moments in time.
Right. Those celebrity roasts back in the 70s with a young I love watching those on YouTube because, like I said, we don't even have a channel anymore that streams that. Like, stream that stuff. Stream that. Put that stuff back on TV, man.
Yeah, man. But see, we've gotten to the point where we don't even want to sit down. Look, the last television show that I can think of, well, no, they got a couple television shows, but the last television show that brought us together as a country, I believe, is Game of Thrones. Because it was must-see TV. Absolutely. It was going to happen.
Yes.
And now we got my man Cross, which is super dope. I love that. Yeah. But we not all tapped in. Because Cross is a cultural thing.
Because nobody remembers. When you had, because in HRap, I know you remember this. When you had shows on like the Cosby Show, Different World, Living Sin, you knew when the last episode, that must see a series finale, when TV used to go off before the summertime, when TV used to go off back in May, and then you just had to watch whatever they had, the fillers during the year.
No. When it went off in May, that's when if you missed episode 6, you just missed it. No. I mean in the summer. Hey, where were you at? I missed episode 6 of the Jeffersons.
Hey, thank you.
I was talking about it. I wanted to see it.
Hey, thank you. Exactly. When TV actually went off and it left you on cliffhangers or it left you on suspense, and it was just like, oh well, they're gonna put some random stuff on this summertime. Because is there even a season anymore where TV goes off in May? Oh, it premieres back. I think SNL is still kind of keeping that going. The Simpsons.
You still have series. Shout out to Prime, because even though I enjoy Netflix kind of ruined the game with that. Because I remember the first
TV don't go off no more.
They did that with Orange is the New Black, and they just dropped it. And I sat there and watched for like 4 days. I watched the whole series, and then you just sit, you like, that was a good series.
Right?
When is the next year?
Nah, exactly. 2 years later, 3 years later.
Man.
Oh, trust me. Yeah, it's like there's still this flirtation of, you remember when TV would go off in the summertime and you went on trips with your family, or you did cookouts, but then when August, September rolled around, if you wasn't in the house when the Jeffersons came back, oh, y'all see that first episode? Once again, you back. Oh, did you see the first episode of the Jeffersons last night?
No, I missed it. Well, you'll see it in May when they play it again.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. That was, like you said, the power of TV and coming together in comedy. And Richard Pryor, all that stuff is a dead ringer. That is like a head on. I remember when TV went off.
Yeah,
like you said, if you wasn't in the house when the last episode of the Cosby Show aired, you wasn't gonna get that episode. Because it's gone for a while until they go to syndication.
Bruh, I remember the first time I was truly aware of the last episode.
Right.
They made such a tremendous deal of the last episder of MASH.
Oh, it was huge.
The last episode, my man Hawkeye, played by Alan Alda, got on the helicopter and went home. And guess what? People don't even realize Trapper John MD is a continuation of MASH.
It's a spinoff of that. Yeah.
It's the next. It's what happened after they came home from the war. Because
the doctor that died on the helicopter ride, he was the main guy. They were like, "Oh, his helicopter never made it.
Helicopter never made it." And
who does that?
That's when TV was about telling stories
and pulling heartstrings.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why Brother Pryor is a legend, man.
But like, damn, you killed off the main character? It was great, bro. That's why he said Richard Pryor is a footnote in that. He has his hand in that. That's why I said it was just too grounded. And I can't even imagine I'm sure I can't even imagine what a root comedy tree. If somebody's got a comedy tree out there, I can't even imagine how many branches, what they look like. It's probably ridiculous, but just from Richard Pryor's branch, as they do in football, the big tuna branch, who's from the class of the big tuna, and then Bill Walsh and all that,
Man, that Richard Pryor. I mean, we can even just go through it. Look, Marshall Warfield, Paul Mooney, Robin Williams, Tim Reed, John Belushi.
Yes.
And then you move on and you got Eddie Murphy, because Eddie Murphy was under his tutelage.
Yeah.
When you go to Eddie Murphy, you get Chris Rock, you get Martin Lawrence, you get all these other guys. That is
Arsenio Hall and
all these Keenan Ivory Wayne. Like they didn't even mention it. It's just so many trees. Like Keenan Ivory said he didn't want to meet Richard Pryor until he had accomplished something. So he could say, so he wanted Richard to be like, oh, you the guy that did this.
Yes.
You know what type of reverence you have to have for an individual to not even want, hey man, I don't want to come in your presence.
Right. Because I haven't even got a chance to even eye to eye with you.
Right. You know what? I'll never be eye to eye to you, but it's just like the Lord. You don't want to come to the Lord without saying thank you.
Right. Exactly. Right. Thank you for something.
Proud of God, but
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's like you said, you just want that reverence.
Yes.
It's like, hey, you're on the Mount Rushmore, obviously.
Right.
And I can't come to you shorthandedly after all the things you've achieved and overcome. And even if you still had those demons and you limped across the finish line, man, you still had those achievements. You can't not rip me of these achievements.
Right. And the fact that this lady, and then not to harp, I am going to harp on it because it was classless. The fact that you didn't use this individual as a beacon of light, you tried to cast him in the as a shadow of darkness. It's a pathetic situation, man. And look, exactly. Show again back to the evil, good versus evil, to show you how evil this project was. Check this out. This lady released this before the pandemic. The whole world was watching TV.
2019.
The whole world was watching.
The whole world was watching. Thank you.
Fools ran out of stuff on Netflix and was like,
I ain't got nothing else, man. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
I watched the whole Netflix and we got this Richard Pryor thing on Prime.
Right.
Go ahead and watch the other Netflix thing. Oh, it's something else on Prime I can watch. Come on, dog. Come on. This should have been the most popular piece in the history
of the
world.
And the fact that it slipped through the cracks. I never heard of this until I saw it a few months. Like I said, I think I started this like late May, early June. And I was just like, and I looked at the date and I'm like, 2019. I was like, I never heard of this. I'm like, what was it even on? Like, if I look at it right now, it might tell me what it streamed on, but I found it on YouTube.
Right.
Oh, see, I didn't even know. It popped up YouTube for me, so I watched it on YouTube.
Prime, Jack. And this was just, it was just a horrible situation. It's just a horrible situation. Yeah. And she deserves all the vitriol we can give her. But instead of offering her vitriol, what we're going to do is close it out by giving our final thoughts on Richard Pryor. And we're not even going to really focus on this documentary. Let's just do final thoughts on what Richard Pryor meant to us and how this affected us and how much we enjoy who he was as an individual. And you had the floor first.
I mean, Richard Pryor, even the sound of his laugh or those high notes he would hit, his surprised, the classic mustache, the afro is iconic. The sidebar. I mean, just him, slender guy. I mean, just the way he delivered and how he talked. He definitely has an impression on me as a kid growing up because, after seeing him in Superman, which wasn't the best Superman, but having him in other movies that I've watched him in, and you had Grease Lightning, and having him in Which Way Is Up, and watching those with my granddad. Listening to the albums, I mean, he is a forever lasting figure. Like I said, he's just iconic. Like his presence, like even if you just did a cartoon sketch, we knew who that was. Mm-hmm. That's just how iconic and how well known he is, and to listen to the other comedians that, hey, can I Bill Barr said it. Oh no, what's his name said it? I can't think of his name. Epps. He did. What was that?
Epps.
No, it was
Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel. He's like, what do I have in common with a slender black gentleman, and I'm a Jewish guy? I have no. How would I relate? But the comedy was relating. Like I could get it. I got where he was coming from. Just on a different diaspora, a different plane. So no, Richard is definitely forever iconic, legendary, impactful. Like I said, the way he delivered his cadence and his comedy, just hands down, man.
Oh yeah, man.
It's huge, man.
And with that being said, I want to echo those sentiments. This is a dude who gave me countless hours of entertainment, thought-provoking entertainment, heartwarming entertainment from every aspect. Introspection. He gave us introspection. He gave us entertaining. He gave us civic duty. And he showed us brotherhood. He showed you, even in this and anything else you see about him, he always provoked thought. He always provoked emotion. He always had a sense of community, and he blazed a trail that can never be duplicated, or I don't think can ever be duplicated. He is a beacon of light that we no longer have, so he should be celebrated. That's why we celebrated him 2 weeks in a row, because 1 week, as I always say when we talk about biopics and things of that nature, you cannot do a biopic, you cannot have something of that nature and have it put to one episode. You can't celebrate 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years of life in 90 minutes. That's why I always say, when you do a tribute, when you do a biopic, it needs to be a bio series so we can encapsulate the good, the bad, the ugly. Like Jim Valvano said, it's a wonderful situation when you have a day, one day that you laugh, one day that you cry, one day that you sit down and think, and one day that you smile. If you do all those things, you had a hell of a day. And Richard Pryor gave us tons of hell of a days. And thank you.
Man, I can't imagine how tired he was coming off that stage sometimes.
Man.
And like I said, there was times where he had stopped touring on the comedy circuit because he was doing movies. And then he was like, hey, it's time to get back to the stage. I can't even, did they even, I'd have to look it up, but I wonder how often he traveled. Did he stay? He didn't really stay in one place. They didn't talk about like how he toured. Did he stay in one place? I don't think he stayed in one place.
No, he toured. He toured because I remember my mother. Like my mother was a gigantic Richard Pryor fan. She had all his albums. I can remember her going to shows. I can remember her friends and my aunts and uncles them talking about Richard Pryor. He was always on the move. He was on the move like the Minute Hand, man.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, man. With that being said, man, we want y'all to hit like, hit share, leave a comment. It's important that you guys leave comments, man. Even just say, HRap was great. No, I'm just playing. But even if you say HRap sucked, if you say I like Wilks, man, maybe what rap needs to shut up. Whatever you want to say, man, leave a comment.
Yeah. Let us hear
it. Thank you for giving us y'all time. It's BS3. Please subscribe on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, what else? X.
Roku, so
Roku TV, and then if you get a little time on your hands, go on over to YouTube and subscribe to the End of the Bench Media, THAENDOFDABENCH. We are the 18 from the Fourcast. Next week we'll be back in full strength with Dawk, Wilks, myself, and Ben, the host of he put, as Dawk says, he puts the BS and BS3. Thank you guys for letting us y'all time. 2 fingers, 1 word. He Wilks, I'm Rap, and we are out.